Good morning, guys. Welcome back from spring break. I hope you had a good one or made the most of it. I know it was a little bit different, but at least we weren't in school, so that's a good thing. I wanted to get you started this morning. Still working on my website. I took the whole week off, but I do have the book nook going for you. So if you click right here, it's actually pretty sweet. I think you'll like it. Miss Morris, I know, used Sora and Media, so I'm hoping you remember how to use it. But if you have any trouble and you would like to access this, just let me know. You should only have to put in your student ID. But I do have like a video tutorial I can send to you if you need help, or I can talk to you on Zoom. But these are really awesome fifth grade titles, and I tried to pick things that I think you would be interested in as well. There's some good ones on here. Got some Ronald Dahl. This author, Kwame Alexander, is really good. I think you'll like him a lot. But I have books for a lot of the different interests. I know you guys like this Outcast United book. It's a really great soccer book for any of my soccer fans. The One and Only Ivan, if you haven't read it yet, is a must. So check this out. You just check them out online. So it's like an online library. You could read it right at home. You don't have to go and find it, all right? But if we go back over to our courses and go to English, you're in teacher view, so it might look a little different, but it'll make sense. Okay, so we go to today's assignments, and today is Monday, April 20th. If you have not gotten your other assignments done, please work on those. I want to make sure that you guys know how to get in, so I'm going to be making some phone calls. I know we made a few the week before spring break, but I just need to make sure everyone is able to do this, all right? So if you're having trouble, just let me know. It says welcome back on here. Today's assignment is going to be about theme. Hi, baby, I love it. It's Maui and Taka. Wow. Sorry, guys. Um, Today we're learning about a common theme between two different texts. So that's a huge hint for you. The theme is going to be the same in these two texts. And I want you to use details from each to support what you think that theme is. Remember that theme can be applied to like you and me. We could read a story and use its theme to learn in our daily lives. So your theme should not be super specific to the story. It should be like an overarching life lesson, essentially. All right, so you're watching today's tutorial, and then I want you to fill in today's morning check-in for me. It looks like I have some people already on here. All the questions are the same, but I do have the questions about your family on there. I'll have them Mondays and Fridays just to make sure everyone's doing okay and healthy. No one needs food. Take these questions seriously, because if you need food, I want to help you get it. So please don't say yes if really you have like a cabinet full of Cheetos at home and you're just being silly. Once you fill this out, there is a question about spring break on there. Tell me something fun you did. Then you can head back over to Canvas and we can start our assignment. So we're supposed to read two articles. It's All the Pieces Matter and The Canadian Beaver. I'm going to read The Canadian Beaver with you, or at least the first page of it to get you started. And then what you're doing down here, once you've hit authorize, if you don't see this finding theme that I have, you have to hit the big authorize button at the bottom. We're going to be finding the theme. So I've already started filling out the titles, All the Pieces Matter and The Canadian Beaver, because we're looking at both of the stories. I want you to have at least one detail from All the Pieces Matter, one details from The Canadian Beaver. You can pick which story you're doing for your third detail. And then I want to know your overarching theme between the two. So there's only one slide here that you're filling out. The title, All the Pieces Matter, is already a big hint to me on the one you guys read on your own. I see like a picture, it looks like, of like an aquatic ecosystem of some type. I know all the pieces matter. It sounds like maybe everyone in this ecosystem is important. That's my first guess. Now, the Canadian beaver, it has some words in here that you might not have known, so I actually wanted to show you, and it has a Frozen reference. So it says the town of Tadoussac in northern Quebec lies between mountains and the shoreline. It's located just where the Saguenay Fjord runs into the St. Lawrence River. A fjord is a small arm of the sea in the middle of high rocks or cliffs. You know I'm Frozen too. I talk about their fjord all the time, and she's trying to save it. And then, like, when the dam breaks, she has to run back. Spoiler alert. So this is what a fjord is. Make sure I'm saying it right. See? It looks like this. It looks like Frozen. And then the Saguenay Fjord in Canada is a real place. It looks like this. So just to give you some reference, if you ever read an article, especially if we're online, and you have no idea what these words are, go check them out because it just gives your brain a better starting point. So this is the area we're talking about. And our title is about beavers. So apparently there's a Canadian beaver that lives here, and he's probably important, I'm assuming. All right. Every year in the month of May, when the cold has passed until October, hundreds of thousands of tourists visit Tudzuk to go whale watching. They pile into kayaks and small motorboats and search for hours in the hopes of glimpsing a gigantic tail or fin. The waters around the small town are full of them. Baleen whales gather to eat krill, small shrimp-like things that live in an abundance. Tudzuk's water conditions make the perfect meeting place for those enormous animals. All right, so this place has whales, and if you don't know the word abundance, it means a lot. So it said that there was an abundance of krill, right? Yeah, so there's a lot of krill for the whales to eat, so the whales live here. I got my title highlighted. We know that we're in Canada right now. I want to highlight that. We want to highlight some important details and anything that is going to show us the theme. We know that they're talking about people visiting to go whale watching so far. These are all important. Can you hear puppy dog pals in the background? All right, those visitors who choose to stay on land, however, might meet a different furrier kind of creature. Working away into Tudzuk's forest are Canadian beavers, those broad-tailed rodents with the big chomping teeth. The beaver is an important part of the Canadian culture. This is a big clue. He's important. Oh no. He is an important part of their culture there. We know from like our multicultural affair that culture has to do with all the the food of a country, the clothing of the country, their beliefs, the people. So this beaver is a part of that. That's kind of interesting. I want to know what they mean. It even appears on the face of the country's nickels. So we know this beaver is important. One, it's our title. Two, it's on the face of their nickels. We have presidents on ours and they have a beaver. So clearly this guy is legit. The Mason Majorque, I'm sorry, I'm butchering it. The little house with a red roof and Tudzuk's only youth hostel offers free beaver watching tours that leave from the reception area every day at 5 p.m. In the late afternoon, the web-footed animals wake up and begin to work through the night. For more than 20 years, the tours have been led by the same woodsman, an old man named Coco. With a head of wild white hair and a matching beard, Coco knows the wetland areas around the hostel as though they were his home. All right, so if you go here, this guy Coco can show you where all the beavers live. I prefer the forest to the sea, he says, explaining why he would rather take tourists into the woods than bring them out on the water to see the whales. Coco's beaver watching tours begin at, I don't know how to say this word, La Nes Leu, a quiet lake surrounded by dark green fir trees. Also encircling the lake are 5 different beaver homes, each one made of piled logs. The walk all the way around the lake takes about 2 hours with stops. Alone, Coco hikes the trail in just 45 minutes. The path winds its way from fallen trees and every so often comes out of rocky lookout over the lake. From there, you're likely to spot a beaver parent or a pup, usually just a smudge of brown fuzz and a wide, scaly tail, like the blade of a canoe paddle gliding across the water. Sometimes, if you're lucky, you might catch the entire family at work carrying pieces of wood from the forest to the lakeside lodges. They swim back and forth and haul bits of trees that look much too heavy for their small bodies. Okay, I'm going to let you finish this last page on your own. But so far, I know that the Canadian beaver is really important in Canada, and it looks like it is important to its habitat. It's really strong. I think you're going to learn why this beaver is so important to the habitat. If I'm thinking of theme, and I know that this one is already titled All the Pieces Matter, I think we're learning that animals and their jobs are really important to ecosystems. That's like my inference that I see coming. But you want to find this theme. Remember, you have to have one detail from All the Pieces Matter, one from the Canadian beaver, and then another one that you like, and they all need to support this theme. That's what I'm looking for, okay? So when you are done with that, you would just submit it right underneath where it says stop sharing. You'll see like a submit button. Or actually, is it up here? For you, I don't know. You'll find it though. It'll say submit, and then it comes right to me, and I can grade it, and that's it. Okay, guys? So I am gonna hop on my office hours. I'm like 15 minutes late. If you have questions, come see me there, and I'll have science over on science for you. Bye.